slip into soft fall. The very act of life beginning is by all measures absurd.
Millions of cells racing to one fragile destination, all but one doomed to fail. And even then, survival is never guaranteed. We are, every one of us, improbable. Class dismissed. Hello, my friend. Aren't you a sight for sore eyes? Just wrapping up my musings on chemistry and sociology. Thank you for your patience. You're looking quite well. How have you been? What brings you here? I see. I must admit, I had secretly hoped to see you in my class. Perhaps then I could counterbalance Logan's focus on the physical with a touch of intellectual exercise. Has Logan relaxed that vigorous training? I see. Still, it's a pleasure to have you here nonetheless. You know, there was a time, long before any of us was suited for battle, when this place was meant to be just that. A sanctuary, a school, a place where gifted minds could study, question, and evolve. Before the uniforms, before the battles. It was about becoming, not defending. But it is strange, isn't it? How easily the world turns thinkers into warriors. I've long wrestled with the idea of morality, if it's truly logical or merely cultural. Does right and wrong obey some universal formula? Or are we simply rationalizing instinct through philosophy? We are told conflict is inevitable, that when opposing forces meet, tension surely must rise, and that peace is something to be negotiated only after damage is done. But I often wonder, was that the law of nature, or just a failure of imagination? There's a temptation to believe that one side is good, and the other is evil, that the lines are clear, sharp, and unblurred. But that's rarely the case. The most dangerous conflicts I've witnessed didn't begin with weapons. They began with certainty. Not action, not violence, but the unshakable belief that one's view was complete, absolute, unquestionable. The most dangerous convictions are the ones held without doubt. Ah, yes, like Magneto. Perhaps the greatest tragedy of our time. A man of singular conviction, forged in the crucible of unimaginable suffering. He ceased to be a protector and became a conqueror. When this institution was born, it was in response to a different kind of chaos. Not an invasion, not a global war, a conflict of identity, of belonging, of dignity. The world didn't know how to accept the ones who they saw as different. So, it turned its fear into policy, into surveillance. This was the age of reason, supposedly. An era that believed itself enlightened, and yet What did it do when challenged by its own conscience? It shouted louder. It split into sides. It told itself that fear could be contained with force. Funny how history echoes. Different uniforms, different flags, same reactions. I have seen brilliant people do monstrous things in the name of peace. And here is the irony. The more we study conflict, the more predictable it becomes. We can model it, map it, forecast it, and still we repeat it. Why? So, we build schools, we form teams, we dare to dream. But sometimes, even those dreams must wear armor. Not because they want war, quite the opposite, but because they've learned what silence costs.
Ah. Hold this, please. Place it here. A little of this. And stand back. Now watch closely. A little of this can create something fascinating. So you see, much like us,
Born from struggle into a world that seems to thrive on tension. Tennyson described nature as red in tooth and claw. And indeed, if you look long enough, you'll see conflict everywhere. Stars collapsing into themselves. Oceans carving away the land. Even the trees compete for sunlight. And yet, I've begun to wonder if we've misunderstood peace entirely. Perhaps peace isn't the absence of struggle. Perhaps peace is what we create within it. An act of defiance, a conscious choice. I think of the lotus blooming from the mud, or neurons firing new pathways after injury, or the rose growing through concrete. As Frederick Douglass so wisely said, if there is no struggle, there is no progress. Even in a universe as turbulent as ours, there are patterns of renewal, of growth. What if peace isn't something we find waiting for us out there, pristine and unbroken? What if it's something we build every time we choose compassion over indifference, curiosity over fear, creation over destruction? Forgive the philosopher in me, but I can't help believing that in all this entropy, we're meant to be the architects of something better. Yes, this world is complex. And yes, conflict is everywhere. But so is harmony. So is collaboration. And if we choose it, if we practice it, then peace is not an illusion at all. It's evolution. Isn't that a hypothesis worth testing? Well, till next time, friend.